when we think of polarization, it's not necessarily bad for democracy. Polarization, if it's defined simply as difference or distance in political positions on issues or political preferences, that is positive because we want to see a difference. We want to offer to voters alternatives from political parties. So simply political polarization in terms of those kinds of differences is good and natural for democracy. What I'm talking about is when we see extremes of this, and it's really a process where politics becomes simplified and political leaders in particular try to present a binary choice. They try to simplify politics into an either or kind of choice. And so it's binary and it's us versus them. And usually the them is presented as an enemy. This is the really pernicious polarization with very harmful consequences for democracy. If one party is able to dominate or one political coalition, then we have a hegemonic party that very often follows the pattern of changing the laws, changing the rules, particularly the electoral rules, to entrench themselves in power. And we have a pattern of democratic erosion. Eventually, in some cases, we see this creeping authoritarianism lead finally to democratic collapse, which may be such as happened in Thailand when we had polarization between two camps repeatedly, the yellow shirts and the red shirts, eventually a military coup in 2014 ended democracy for 5 years. Or the creeping authoritarianism of Venezuela leading eventually to a collapse, I would argue happened in 2016. Political leaders can drive this polarization when they're exploiting some underlying grievances that people have. I want to first put the challenge to everyone who is, thinking of or already is a political leader to consider how your own narrative can help to drive a pernicious position like this or could help to reduce it. Opposition parties play an important role. So you may have a political leader who is polarizing, an incumbent, but it really matters, what does the opposition do? What do the other political parties do? They can exacerbate it, make it worse, or they can contain it. Active depolarization strategy would try to identify all these different interests that we have. What unites us? What unites us as a society, as a country as well? This is the most fundamentally important thing, is to be active and to really participate in, and be in charge of the change in your countries.